Another Scratch tutorial for TazMcCarthy.com, this time on the way music works in Scratch. We'll leave our cat for now because we don't really need it. We're going to set up our one using keyboard commands. So the first thing we're going to do is just drag out a bunch of these. We'll do it for 5 different notes, and we might set them across the keyboard. So A comes first, and then S, and then D, and then F, and then G. You notice under sound, Scratch has some really good things built in. If you click on them, it'll give you a preview. You can play drums, and you can play different notes. You can also change the instrument to anything that a normal music keyboard has. To create a really basic keyboard, we drag out some of these. And all we need to do is change the note value. So the first one might be 60, second one might be 62, next one might be whatever the next key is, 64, the one after that is 65, the one after that is 67. So I just use the keyboard to guide me there, because you can see it jumps by 2 sometimes, 1 other times. So if we test this, A, S, D, F, G, instantly we have a very quick keyboard that we've made. Now this doesn't have to work just with musical sounds. You could also get it to play different drum beats and things like that to make a virtual drum machine. So we have all different drums as well. We can also change the length that the note plays for. So if you like, you could set up a full keyboard with this type of thing. Another thing that you might find really useful is setting up keys to play different sounds, almost like what you call a soundboard. So I'll very quickly import a whole bunch of sounds. Okay, now instead of playing notes, now I assign these to play different sounds. Okay, our soundboard is ready to go. No doubt you could annoy someone a great deal with something like that. Another option, which you might have already realized, is to go to Sounds and then to click Record. Say you wanted to record a beatboxing game. You would simply click Record and record all your different sounds, and then just like you did with these, assign them to different buttons on the keyboard, and all of a sudden you have a beatboxing keyboard that plays in exactly the same way. One other trick that I'll show you is letting the user change for these notes what instrument they're playing on the keyboard, and we'll do that with a variable. So I'll attach these back up to put it back into a keyboard, and then I'm going to make a variable, and I'm going to call it instrument. I'll tell it that when the game starts, I want the instrument to be number 1, which I believe is the piano. Now I'm going to put in 2 keyboard controls. When they press the right arrow and when they press the left arrow, they're going to be able to change the instrument. So we'll get them to change the instrument by 1 and the instrument by -1. One other thing to do, we'll add a forever onto this. So after it initially sets it to the piano, we, from sound, set instrument to whatever the instrument variable is. Okay, so we'll test that now. We press the right arrow a few times, it changes to instruments 10. And now it's setting the instrument to instrument 10. So when we play, and then change the instrument to something else, you can see that it changes. One last trick, if you right click or control click on a Mac and change the variable to slider, they'll be able to pick the instrument directly. So there's a few different ways that you can use sounds to make musical instruments in Scratch.